Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome to episode 8.
The title of this episode is Ready Player Die. And I am admittingly super excited about today's topic because, as much as I love horror movies, I also like video games. So, we're going to be talking about video games that inspired horror movies and vice versa, horror movies that inspired video games.
And there's a lot out there. A lot of what we're going to talk about are video games that inspired movies. I would say almost the majority. And these are very iconic video games. I'm sure you're already thinking of some right off the bat, but this is an exciting one. I feel like one that we talked about in a past episode that we were going to do video games, and the time is finally here.
Yes, it is. Now, some of these we don't speak very highly of. Some of the video games were terrible. And in at least one case, the movie and kind of the video game was terrible, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll still touch on it because,
Yeah. We can jump right in. We have a lot to talk about. Some of these video game franchises are pretty lengthy, so we can just get started.
all right. So I'm starting us off with a classic Friday the 13th movie that inspired a few different video games. The first one I'm not really going to talk a lot about, but I love, and it was from Nintendo. It's the original Friday the 13th video game. I have some things here from Nintendo.
Love it.
That was a lot of fun, but the game that I do want to talk about is the game from 2017 that every single person that I talked to that played that game loved that game. And I think that you'll find that it inspired a few other kind of copycat games that I'll get into. But the video game it's a survival horror game that pits up to 7 players controlling Camp Crystal Lake counselors against 1 player who is Jason Voorhees.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yes,
that.
it is. I'll get into it. I'm so upset. Everybody else was upset because they stopped developing the game and it's done now. You can't even play it anymore. It's a semi-open world game with players able to explore it further. So it started with just a few different versions of Jason and a few different counselors who they made very similar to counselors from the actual movies. And then you would randomly play one of the movie locations. So, it started with a few, and then as they kept developing the game, they would make different kinds of Jasons and more Jason's like Jason X. So basically what happens is you start the game, you're in like a lobby and you choose which counselor you want to be. And if you get randomly selected to be Jason, you choose which version of Jason you want to be. Now, both the counselors and Jason have different strengths and weaknesses depending on which counselor, which version of Jason you pick. So like Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2 and Part 3 and 4, he could run in the video game.
So scary.
Yeah, once you get past that, he would not run, but he would be like stronger. So if he slammed you with whatever, you'd take more damage. So it's that kind of concept. But the idea was obviously if you're Jason, you want to try and kill all the counselors. But if you're the counselors, you have to kind of work together and run around the camp and find different like tools and different items that you need to escape the camp. So as the counselors, that's how you win. You escape the camp. As Jason, if you kill all the counselors, that's how you win. But there's fun little like also things in it. Like you can find his mom. You can go into the cabin from Friday the 13th Part 2 and find his mom, dead. And that does fun, weird things. But yeah, it was such a fun game. And then, the last time I think you could play it online was either January of 2025 or January of 2026, but I want to say it was last year.
So this was just an online, like PC game, like it wasn't on anything?
It was on like PlayStation, Xbox, like all the consoles, yeah. But you could play with anybody on whatever console or, if they're on a PC.
Got it, yeah.
And it was like so much fun because as Jason would get near, it would start playing music, and then you hear all the people like kind of panicking to one another. Yeah, it was
like
hilarious.
The online, like
yeah, because you have to communicate with each
Yeah.
other so that you can get out.
That's so fun.
And Jason can't hear the other people, but
Right.
But as you hear the music start, you're like, shit, he's close. Like,
Yeah.
guys, he's over here. Like, he's in cabin A.
I
So
feel like they should bring that. They shouldn't have canceled it because the Camp Crystal Lake show is premiering soon, and I feel like there's gonna be a resurgence of, I don't know,
they
maybe new Friday the 13th fans.
maybe they will.
Yeah, missed
Maybe,
opportunity.
I know, I really hope they bring it back, but I did say that they kind of created some copycats.
Mhm.
This might this might hurt when I announce that another one that they come out with that was basically the exact same concept, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You can either play as a human person trying to get away from the clowns and you're trying to escape this town, or you play as one of the clowns. And
Why was it bad?
it basically presented its way exactly like Friday the 13th, but
Mhm.
there were just some like glitches and stuff. It wasn't Friday the 13th worthy.
Mm,
But when
'cause
I
that sounds
first
fun.
yeah, when I first saw that they were making a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game, I was so excited, but then I played it,
When was that? Like,
this was
recent
only
or not?
yeah, this was only like 2 years ago, I think they
Interesting. That's weird.
yeah, you can still play that game, but it's
Okay.
just it didn't hold up as well
Huh. Okay.
but it's still
Well,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's pretty fun.
that's a movie that I can see them rebooting. Okay, I said it first. What is it? June 23rd, 2026.
Yeah.
I think Killer Clowns from Outer Space will be rebooted in the next, I'm gonna say 5 years.
They could
I
either
don't think it needs to be, but I think it will.
do really well with it if they
Mhm.
let the right person do it,
Mhm.
or it could be a mess, a CGI terrible mess.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It would have to be really good if they could do practical effects, like no CGI would be kinda cool
yeah,
with the right director. I would
yeah.
Who would play a great human in this is Justin Long.
I knew it. I knew it. I didn't even have to I knew that was
Don't
coming.
you think though that he would like
Yes, of
it would
course.
work
You
for
should
that
be in
movie?
every horror movie.
I should
The
be a casting director.
Justin Long fan club.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And everyone knows what Friday the 13th is. Obviously, it's probably one of the most iconic
Yeah.
franchises. But yeah, the Camp Crystal Lake, that is coming out soon, the show.
I think it's this year.
Yeah.
I hope
I'm
they don't
curious
screw
about
that
that.
up either.
Yeah.
But the last movie they made, the
Mhm.
remake, I was not a fan.
No.
But yeah, I mean, along with every single other person who's played that game, misses it very much.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I'm sad I never got to play it because that sounds really fun
oh,
and
it was so
scary.
much fun. It was
Yeah.
just sign on with your friends or even with
Mhm.
random people, and it's hilarious because
Yeah.
everybody just panics and yeah. So,
Wow. Well, RIP Friday the
well,
13th.
I do have a shout out, but I'll do it at the end, and then I'll tie it back to Friday
Let's
the
shout it
13th.
out now.
Well, there is a new movie coming out later this year, Halloween,
Mhm.
which from what I'm reading it's going to have the ability to be similar to Friday the 13th.
Oh,
So players can either step into the role of unkillable Michael Myers or team up as civilian heroes attempting to survive the night in Haddonfield. So I do feel like that description makes it sound like it's going to be similar. But
mm,
also, I want to say that I've watched some video and I've read some different things that there's going to be more to it than just hopefully the same kind of concept that
mhm.
Friday the 13th was. Even though it's awesome. Like I hope they make it the same too where you can be like the different versions of Michael.
Yeah.
When he's younger, he's faster, but when he's older, he's just more brutal, snap your neck or something.
Okay, so we're gonna have to get a bunch of people to buy that game, and we'll be online. Maybe we could do, like, a live stream playing the
We should
Halloween
because
game.
I feel like this is a big release coming
Mhm.
and I'm excited about it. Halloween's obviously my favorite
Mhm,
horror
mhm.
movie series, so I'm really excited about it. Yeah, we should get some people to buy this
Yeah.
game.
I have 2 people who I know would be interested, so we got traction. Question, do you have any Friday the 13th masks, or is it only Halloween?
Just Halloween for right now, and I have a Leatherface mask from when I
Right.
was Leatherface for Halloween 2 years ago.
Do you Are there any that you wanna get and add to the collection?
There are, but it has to be done by the right person.
Mm,
So I have a few from being in the mask community. I have a few people that I know do Jason masks, and they
mhm,
do them like exact replicas of the movie.
mhm.
Or they'll do them dirty if you want them dirty. Like they can do whatever you want, but I like to do replicas of the movie.
Yeah.
So yes, I do have 1 or 2 people who could do Jason masks and do, like, the full outfit too
That's
for
cool.
a lot of the movies.
I don't know what mask I would want.
I'd have to go with the original, like, 3, and when I say the original, I mean the original, like, hockey mask version,
Yeah, yeah.
which he got in the 3rd, so I'm not I what do you do with a what is it, potato sack that he had for the 2nd one?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with that? How do you
Yeah.
display that?
I think
Um,
I'd want the, Freddy Krueger finger knives, like, out of memorabilia.
Again, people do that,
I'm sure.
and they're real metal knives, they just, file them down so you're not
Mhm.
hurting yourself, but, yeah, there's people that do all this kinda stuff, it gets very expensive.
I'm sure. I'm already, with the ghost hunting equipment, I'm
Yeah.
maybe at capacity for that kind of stuff right now.
It gets very expensive.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, we can move on now to
Yes.
when you think video games and horror movies, this is probably, I would say, your top 2 that you would think of. Silent Hill, which is my favorite, and if you know the TikTok, I don't know who the creator is, but I can't stop saying when he it's basically just like a TikTok of this, like, spooky, like, foggy town, and he just goes, "Every day I see that town, Silent Hill," like, Hill, Heel, so that's
Yeah.
how if I say it like that, that's why. Anyways, Silent Hill, I love Silent Hill, I love everything about Silent Hill, I think it's one of the coolest franchises ever created. So Silent Hill, the video game came first. It's a
Correct.
Japanese horror franchise that's centered around a series of survival horror video games. It was created by Team Silent, published by Konami. And so the franchise, it's primarily set in Silent Hill, which is this fictional town in Maine in the US, which is plagued by supernatural events, the occult, dreams that manifest into physical form. They often take the shape of these horrific environments and creatures that stalk the protagonists, etc., etc. So it's very much like a psychological horror, but it is brutal too. It's so creepy. This whole franchise freaked me out as a kid extremely bad. And so the video games were expanded upon, including various printed works. There were 3 different film adaptations, and then a lot of spin-off games too. A lot of spin-off games. But I think the main ones that people like are the first 4. So there were 4 main games. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4, and The Room, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those were developed from 1999 to 2004 by Team Silent, which was, this development team with Konami, and those are the ones that receive, the critical acclaim. The next 3 games, Origins, Homecoming, and Downpour, were developed later, so 2007 to 2012 by Western companies, and those didn't get the best reviews, which often happens when things from Japan go to the West. Japanese versions are often better. So, a ton of games. The first game follows this guy looking for his, adopted daughter, and he's in the town of Silent Hill trying to find her. There's creepy stuff happening. The movie is similar. The first movie is similar to the first game, except it's this woman, Rose Da Silva, and it's her adopted daughter, Sharon, and she takes her to the town of Silent Hill in an attempt to cure her of her ailment because, her daughter's sick. So she's taking her here. They go and they have this violent car crash. And when the mom comes to, Sharon's gone. She's disappeared. So Rose, the mom, begins this crazy, horrific journey to get her back. And the movie freaked me out so bad. It is so creepy. And I saw this as a kid, so it came out in 2006. And just the concept of Silent Hill, I was like, this is the most insane thing ever made. I almost thought it was real, I want to say. But the nurses, all the imagery
Yeah.
is so different and unique, and it really stands out. The nurses are probably one of the most iconic, in addition to Pyramid Head, visuals from the game and the movie, and I love it so much. I think it's one of the coolest games, one of the coolest movies. I know the recent one did not get good reviews. I didn't even watch it because everyone said it was horrific, so it's on my list of things to watch, but I'm not, running to watch it.
So, I have some things to admit.
Oh, no, I feel like you told me this before.
I've only watched the first movie
Okay,
maybe twice.
that's crazy, but at least you watched it.
And when I originally saw it, I thought it was awful.
Yes, okay,
But
that's what I
then
remember.
remember, I just watched it a couple months ago and I'm like, okay, it's not that bad.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it is. But, and then the video games, I can't honestly remember if I've ever played them or not.
They're really scary. I've even have watched, I prefer to watch gameplay of people doing it,
Yeah.
because when I'm playing, I get really freaked out, and then I'm like, I hear something running behind me, I'm done, I'm quitting, I can't do it, I can't go on, so I'd rather watch someone else do it, and even watching someone else do it, it's like watching, a horror movie.
Right.
It's really freaky. I recommend.
The best is watching the YouTubers who are afraid to be playing the game.
Exactly.
So when jump scares happen, they
Yeah,
like freak out, throw their
yeah.
headsets.
I should do that. I feel like I could get some,
It
a
is, it
following doing
is,
that.
it is, it's funny. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I would watch it. It's hilarious when people do that.
Yeah, let me face my fears.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like, and I'll get to it in one of my movies, like I never got jump scared before, but I used to play like Friday the 13th with all the lights off because it's just it sets
Mhm.
the tone. If you're gonna be playing video games, horror video games, I love doing it in the dark because it just adds to it. But if they I don't know if they've ever remade any of these games. If they did, I would consider at least trying the first one just for fun.
I mean, I would just do the originals because
Yeah.
they did so many spin-offs, which I feel like there was one recent one that I don't know if it's come out yet, but I remember seeing the trailer for it and it looked really good and everyone was excited for it. So maybe that's the one to try.
Yeah. Well, I'll look into it. I know you're going to be talking about, or we both are going to be talking about another classic horror movie and video game series.
Mhm.
When we get to that, I will share that I do plan to play at least one or two of the remastered versions of these games. So
Mhm.
when we get to it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I gotta get on my video game grind. I feel like I'm gonna buy them and then I'm gonna get scared and then I'm not gonna play them. So
No way. No, something like Halloween. If you have a bunch of us
Halloween I
playing and
will
we're
do.
laughing,
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. It'll be fun.
The thing is with, like, Silent Hill is Silent Hills. When we go ghost hunting, and go to these, like, spooky places, and then we come back and I'm like, My apartment's haunted." And then if I
You
play a
see a
game
little
like
girl running
Silent
around.
Hill, it freaks me out and then I can't go to bed. I already can barely sleep with the lights off. Yeah, I usually have to have a nightlight because I get so so scared. For as much as I dabble in horror, I am scared of the dark.
Well, the nightlight
Um,
just makes you see it easier if there's
yeah,
some there.
well,
You should
don't
just
say that.
not you should put on an
Now I'm
eye
gonna have to
mask
go.
so you can't see anything.
No, 'cause I'll see, like, when your eyes adjust to the darkness and then I'll start to see
Oh,
shadows.
shadows, yeah, like a
Yeah, and that's what gets
you have a
me. So I
coat
need it to
hanging up
be.
or something.
Yeah, exactly, like, in the corner, and I'm, like, staring down. Anyways, that's Silent Hill. Silent Hill.
It's a big one.
It's a great one. It's such a good franchise. It'll go down in history. It's never gonna be forgotten. I'm sure there will be more movies, there will be more games. It is timeless.
It's one of the OGs for
Yeah,
video games.
and speaking of, I would say this one is an iconic one too, of more recent,
Mhm.
Five Nights at Freddy's. So Five Nights at Freddy's, more recent because the 2 movies
Yeah.
came out, within the last couple years. So Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game came first. This was a 2014 point and click survival horror game,
Mhm.
which I like because it's easy, less controls the better. And it was developed and published by Scott Cawthon. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. So the player, as you're playing, you're controlling Mike Schmidt, who is the night security guard at the family pizzeria Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Schmidt must complete his shifts while avoiding these homicidal animatronic characters that wander the restaurant at night, which is always fun. I think the concept of this is one of my favorite concepts, something about animatronics coming to life and being murderous
Mm.
and wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
It speaks to me, and I don't know if that's because I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese, and the Chuck E. Cheese band was always so creepy, and then they would, like, play, and then they would stop, and they would go back behind the curtain, and then I don't know if you did this, but we'd always, like, peek
We
behind the
always I know
curtain.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
We all did this.
And then you'd be staring at them and you're like, "Are
Yeah.
they real? Did they
Are they gonna
move?"
move?
And I don't know why that's as kids, I actually think that's kind of a weird thing that we all did that, because where did that come from that we think that these animatronics are alive?
Well, so before Chuck E. Cheese, this is when I was really young. There was a place called Showbiz Pizza,
Ooh.
and they had this. I think that's where Chuck E. Cheese came from. Like it
Mm.
became Chuck E. Cheese, so they had the animatronic band. And I remember my 4th birthday party we had at Showbiz Pizza. So the band was playing Christmas songs, and then when they would stop and the curtain would come across, it'd be like, "Let's go look at them." And then you just go peek under the curtain. I think every kid did that. So
Isn't that weird? Like, why
it is
why did
weird.
we do that?
I wasn't gonna crawl up on there with them, but we
No.
all peeked under the curtain to see,
Yeah.
like, what they do when they're not moving. Animatronics can be freaky.
Mhm.
And not to go off topic, but the huge Kong animatronic at Universal Studios, have you seen that ever?
See, now this is a whole deep dive. The side of TikTok, I forget what it's called, the fear of these giant animatronics, especially the ones that are underwater,
Oh,
is a
yeah, like the
crazy thing.
Jaws.
Yeah,
But this one, like, it's at the end of the ride, and it's
it's huge.
huge. And
Yeah.
it's just like growling and stuff. And the ride, last time I was there, stopped a little bit right after it, and it just like goes to sleep.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what if that thing just wakes up and detaches and falls on this cart?
Yeah.
And then the only other one I want to mention is the Yeti from
Oh,
it's at
Disneyland?
yes. They had to stop the Yeti because it was so heavy, it was breaking the
The Matterhorn track?
like whatever it was sitting on, it was like breaking
Oh.
it and crushing it because it was like 4 tons, so they had to stop it. But like those kinds of things, like, and the making of Jurassic Park when the dinosaurs, because of the rain, would just go up and fire up by themselves, like the T-Rex. Like, I don't want to be around that kind of stuff.
It's so creepy.
That thing
I don't
just
know what
like
it is.
grabs you, it'll crush you. Like,
Yeah, and in my head, that's probable. Them coming to life, that's not 0% wouldn't happen in my head. This is maybe a 2% chance that this thing could come alive.
yeah. Well, if we ever have the opportunity to do a paranormal investigation at Chuck E. Cheese,
I
I
would
don't know.
die.
I don't know if I want to do that with this damn.
Actually, yeah, speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, we have to find some abandoned Chuck E. Cheese that just got shut down and we can break in and do. And then you
Yeah,
guys might never hear from us again. So
till
we'll see.
spirits take over those
Yeah.
things and now they're chasing us.
But yeah, the movie or the game is really fun. A lot of people around me played it. Even my younger cousins and stuff played it when they were really young. And it's not like it is a kid game, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I played it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I get this. But then I'd be doing something and I turn around and one's just standing there. And I'm like,
hmm
but
It's a little intense.
yeah, I mean, I only, that's another game I didn't play that much, but I
Yeah.
have played it.
Yeah. That's when I will watch on TikTok when the gameplay will come up, TikTok live, and I'm like, "Ooh, let me just this will be something to go to bed to, watching someone play." But anyway, so the movies came after. So the first one came out in 2023. It's American, supernatural horror film. It's based exactly on the game series, the same name. It was directed by Emma Tammy, written by Cawthon, so the guy who created the game, also Tammy and Seth Cudback. And then it was produced by Jason Blum of Blumhouse and Cawthon. So the film stars Josh Hutcherson. He plays the Mike Schmidt character, the troubled security guard who starts a job at the condemned pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he then discovers that its animatronic mascots are possessed by the spirits of children who were murdered by a serial killer who's portrayed by Matthew Lillard, who I am obsessed with. He's amazing. Anything he touches, I will watch. He is an icon. He's actually a horror icon too. And
All right, I'll
I
agree to be in his club voluntarily. I'll
okay,
be in
okay.
his club voluntarily.
Okay,
I
good, because
think
he deserves it.
he could play a spoon and he would do well with it.
Right? He's great, I love
He's
him, he's
good.
such a sweetheart. So, yeah, Matthew Lillard plays the serial killer, who killed all those kids years prior, and then the second one came out recently. I feel like the first one I actually don't remember the reviews the second one got, but I feel like it wasn't as big as the first one. It kinda
Yeah.
came out I think it came out during the holidays last year, and then it kind of fell off. But the first one, everyone thought it wasn't gory enough. I feel like that was a general consensus, and that was mine as well, where I don't know, I think they could have taken it further. And I don't know if this has to do with it being Blumhouse
Mm,
because I am a diehard Blumhouse, as in I've seen probably every Blumhouse movie. However, I think of recent couple years, they're
yeah.
not as good as they were at the beginning. And I don't know, I feel like if someone else took this movie, like a
A24.
Neon or something, they could have taken it way, way further.
I'm a big A24 fan.
Yeah, A24, Neon. Those are my 2 big ones, but even independent, an IFC or something, it was just it felt like it was missing something. The actors in it are great. It was cool to see. I just wanted more destruction, I think. And I brought this up before, Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage
Yes, you did.
is Willy's Wonderland came out a while ago, I would say, like, mid-2010s, and that's with Nicolas Cage, and it's the similar idea where there's, this shutdown place, and Nicolas Cage goes there, and these kids break into it or Nicolas Cage plays a security guard, these kids break into it, all the kids get, like, murdered. That one's actually they show people getting murdered,
Mhm.
so it's a little more gory, and that's what I wanted from Five Nights at Freddy's. So
Yeah.
if you've seen Five Nights at Freddy's and you haven't seen Willy's Wonderland, I would be curious your take on both.
I did not see Willy's Wonderland yet. I did like the first Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought it was a really cool storyline.
Mhm.
And of course, Matthew Lillard. He just makes everything
So
better. But yes, I thought it was a very fun and interesting storyline. And I think I did a review on it, but I did like that one. The recent one, I just couldn't get into it. I thought it was just
yeah.
made again to try and make money. But
Yeah. And I did go to the, Five Nights at Freddy's Universal Horror Nights in Hollywood last Halloween,
that would
and
have
the
been fun.
maze in itself was cool visually to see the characters and everything. However, it was kind of like "Oh, that's it." We went to the exit and we're like, "Okay." It wasn't as scary as they could have made it. So I don't know what the reason for that is because again, I think they could have taken a lot further because the Terrifier maze that same year was just blood, guts, gore everywhere. It was so
Yeah.
overstimulating. There was blood squirting in your face everywhere and stuff like that. So I think they could have taken that to Five Nights at Freddy's too.
Yeah.
But yeah, good movie. It's fine. The video game is better. But that's Five Nights, and then we can go into another. I would say this is an iconic franchise.
Yes. So another situation where the video game inspired a movie, and I'm talking about Until Dawn. So this is well, the movie's recent. The video games came out in 2015. It's an interactive drama survival horror video game. You assume the control of 8 young adults who have to survive on Blackwood Mountain when their lives are threatened. The game features a butterfly effect, and I'll explain kind of how the game's a little different from the movie. But the game features a butterfly effect system in which players must make choices that may change the story. So it's one of those video games that you can play over and over and over and over and just make different choices from the characters, and then that will change what happens to those characters and will change the ending to the game.
Mhm.
So that was pretty fun. All major playable characters can survive or die depending on the choices made. Players explore the environment from a third person perspective and find clues that may help solve the mystery. So I really did like this video game. It was slightly different from the movie though. In the movie, the night kind of keeps resetting if they don't survive until the morning.
Mhm.
There's like the hourglass for anybody who's seen it. The hourglass keeps spinning and they keep just getting killed over and over. So
Mhm.
that's how the movie's slightly different from the video game. They were still kind of in a cabin, like in the middle of nowhere. But I did like the video game because they like take a ski lift way up into the mountains. And it does feature, what's his name? Rami
Yeah.
Malek.
Mhm.
He plays one of the characters. His family owns the cabin that they stay at in the video game. And in the video game, it's kind of slightly different again, too, because it starts by him playing tricks on people and making it seem like people are dying, but then some people really aren't dying.
Mhm.
But then, not without giving too much away, there's these creatures that come out of the mines because the story is kind of reflected around a mine shaft and a mine where miners years ago went missing and stuff. And that's where this girl went missing. So it's slightly different from the movie. I actually did like the movie too. I was wondering how they were going to do that. But I think them doing the whole night resetting, unless they survive until morning or until dawn,
Mhm.
that was an interesting way to do it. And the movie is gory, so you would love that part of it. I think they did go a little overboard with jump scares, but all in all, I would say I enjoyed both the video game and the movie.
Yeah. How true do you think they are to each other?
Uh, like percentage wise?
Yeah, like, is the movie wildly different than the video game, or are they pretty close replicas of each
No,
other?
they're pretty close. The one girl is a sister to the
Mhm.
girl that went missing the year prior. So they go up there to get more, like try to just get more information about what happened to her. So that's both
Mhm.
the same kind of storyline, except, one, and you're making choices for these characters. And it starts out as kind of a joke where Rami Malek's playing a joke on the other characters, but then you find out that like the whole thing with like the history of the miners and the mine shaft and these creatures coming out of the mine shaft, that's all the same. So
Yeah.
it's pretty close just with the switch between choosing the path of the characters in the video game and the movie resetting the night over and over until they're able to survive.
Yeah.
So they're pretty similar.
I gotta dabble in that one a little more. That one I'm a little out of the loop on, but it sounds spooky.
It is. I think you'll appreciate the gore.
I love gore, and I do like jump scares, so, yeah, maybe I'll give that a watch.
So I forgot the concept of the movie, how they keep getting killed over and
Mhm.
over.
Mhm.
And I would say between 7 and 10 minutes into the movie, they're all dead.
Sick. Love
And
that.
I'm like, how is this gonna go?
Mhm.
Like, are they all faking it? Like, I didn't even know. But yeah, it's really good. I think you should watch it. I think you would like it. It's definitely got the gore factor,
Yeah.
but other
Yeah.
things I enjoyed about it.
I love a murder right at the beginning, especially multiple, so
They all
I
they all
yeah.
got whacked
Yeah, it sounds
right
like
in
my
a
cup of
row.
tea there.
And, like, I'm like, "Okay, some of these characters die, but a couple of them are hiding, and there's, like, this massive, strong killer that comes."
Mm.
That's how the movie starts.
Okay, cool, yeah. You
They end
hooked
up at
me.
this cabin, and they can't, like, leave, and then this massive killer that's how the movie starts. It's awesome.
Perfect. Perfect, yeah.
Highly
Okay,
recommend it.
it's on my watch list. The next one is, I would say, number 1
Yeah.
on a lot of people's lists for
Mhm.
video game movie crossover and just video game in general. This is Resident Evil. So Resident Evil, near and dear to my heart. This one, both the video games and the movies are I kinda grew up on it,
Yeah.
and they're my favorites. So, Resident Evil is known as Biohazard in Japan. So, it is a Japanese horror game series and the media franchise. It's created by Capcom. So, basically, it consists of a survival horror, third-person shooter, and first-person games. And the players typically are surviving in environments inhabited by zombies and other mutated creatures. So the franchise did end up expanding into media, including, the famous live action film series. They did animated films, television series, comic books, novels, audiobooks, merchandise, pretty much everything. And Resident Evil, because all of that, is among the highest grossing horror franchise of all time and is Capcom's best selling franchise with over 201 million copies sold worldwide as of May of this year. So it is probably one of the most famous ones is the most famous one that we're talking about. It started in 1996, all the way up to now. So that was the first one. Basically, if you're not familiar with Resident Evil, there's a lot going on in there, but I'll just give you a quick synopsis because I feel like we could really dive deep. But the early Resident Evil games focused on the Umbrella Corporation. So you might have seen it's referenced a lot in I think media and pop culture and made fun of the symbol. I'll put it over here. So the games are focused on the Umbrella Corporation. which is an international pharmaceutical company that secretly develops mutagenic viruses to further their bioorganic weapons research. The company's viruses can transform humans into these mindless zombies while also mutating plants and animals into these horrifying monstrosities. So the Umbrella Corporation uses its vast resources to effectively control Raccoon City, which is the main city in the
Yeah.
series, in the movie. And it's a fictional, Midwestern town in America. So the games, that's kind of a quick synopsis of the games. The movies were from 2002 to 2016, and it's 6 live action Resident Evil films, all produced, written by Paul W.S. Anderson. The films don't follow the game's premises exactly, but they do feature, some of the similar storylines or the same characters. So famous, I'm gonna butcher her name. I always forget how to say it. Mia
Like
Jovovich.
Jovovich, I think it is.
Jovovich. Yeah,
Mila Jovovich,
Mila Jovovich.
I think.
I think that's right. I always fuck it up. She is probably one of the most gorgeous people on the planet. She's such a badass. I wanted to be her when I was younger, but she is actually, I still want to be her now. She plays the main protagonist, Alice, and it's an original character created for the films. So the movies actually got like not great reviews from critics, but they are to date the only video game adaptations to increase the amount of money made with each successive film. So they got more and more and more popular, even though they didn't get the best reviews. However, I think they're great. I don't know why they've gotten bad reviews. I think
Yeah.
they still stand to this day. They're cool movies. They're just a fun action movie with gore and monsters. The series, so the film series, holds the record for the most live action film adaptations of a video game. And in the 2012 Guinness World Records Gamers Edition, it's also described as the most successful movie series to be based on a video game, which I agree with. I think it's first thing that pops into your head, Resident Evil, video game horror. At least me,
Yeah.
I would say, I would argue, say a lot of people. Um, for the movie kind of synopsis, similar. It does borrow elements from the video game Resident Evil 2. The film follows Alice, Mila Jovovich. She has amnesia when she wakes up, and a band of these Umbrella Corporation commandos, they all band together and they attempt to contain the outbreak of the T virus, which is the Umbrella Corporation's virus,
Yep.
at this secret underground bunker miles below the city. So it's a really cool idea. I think at its time, I think it still stands to this day because now more than ever, I feel like that's something that could happen. Is very
Yeah. Yeah.
probable that there's these hives underneath cities where the government are, they're doing testing and
Testing
there are
stuff.
viruses that they can release and everything. So I think it's smart.
Yeah. Again, so going back to what I said earlier, these are the 2 video games that I have on my list. They're remastered, so I do want to try and play them again. I myself didn't play them as much as my college roommate played them. He was obsessed with these Resident Evil video games. But the movies, I think I've seen the first 2 or 3, and
Really?
I really like them. So, I have no complaints about the video games or the movies whatsoever. Again, I'm with you. I don't know why these have gotten such, I guess, negative or mixed reviews, but
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the movies. The ones I've seen. So I think I've only seen 2 or 3 of them. So
Yeah, the video games are fun. This is one where I actually still have the video game. I forget which one it is, but I have it for my Wii, which shout out to the Wii. It's scary. It makes me
yeah,
sweat. My hands get sweaty and it freaks me out. I think one of the boss level monsters, I feel like his name is William Birkin or something. Scary. Like as soon as
yeah,
it gets I can shoot some zombies, boom, 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 boom. Like we're going, the crazy monster dogs and everything. But as soon as it gets to the boss levels, that's when I'm like, okay, this might be it for me. It's scary. It's a little too much.
yeah. It's so long ago. It's hard to remember. So that's why when I saw it was remastered, and it's like
Hmm.
I don't know, $5 on the PlayStation,
It's worth it.
store.
So worth
I
it.
do, but it's tough because I'm trying to get through some other ones, but
Hmm.
it's on my list.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Yeah, let me know when you play it.
I will.
And actually, I do think you should watch the rest of the movies too.
Well, I would start from the beginning again just
Right,
because I
yeah,
love
yeah.
the
Do a
first 2
little
or 3.
binge.
Yeah,
Well, shout out Resident Evil. That's my star other than Silent Hill of this
another OG.
series. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get to an interesting one that I have on here because it seems like they could be tied together or have a very similar concept, but there's no proof that they are yet. So this is just me. We both seen the
Connecting
movie.
dots, yeah.
Yeah, and then this video game is going to be coming out this year, so it looks very similar. And so the movie we're talking about is The Deep House from 2021. It's a supernatural horror movie that follows two urban exploring American YouTubers who travel to France after being led to a completely intact, isolated mansion submerged at the bottom of a remote lake. The couple's dive turns into a horrifying claustrophobic nightmare as they realize the house hides a dark history of satanic rituals and they aren't alone. So when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it was so cool of an idea because it's different. I thought it was so cool. And when I watched the movie, I also liked it, but I thought there was just some things that were lacking a little bit.
I agree.
And so I didn't talk very highly about the movie originally, but it is a really cool concept. I think if the right person, right studio, producer, director, if they would have they could have made it a lot creepier than what it ended up being.
Yeah, I agree. It felt like there was so much promise, like the
Yeah.
movie starting, the trailer, and yeah, they could have made it a lot scarier.
Yeah. What's that fear that people have of like things underwater?
It's like
It's a
something
phobia. There is a
yeah,
phobia for it. Like people they can't go like in oceans because if they can't see what's below them, then they have a fear of it.
submechanophobia, which I get that a lot on my TikTok. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this I forget where it is. There's this statue of a shark underwater.
Oh yeah.
You know the picture. I'll maybe put that in here too, but that's like a big submechanic phobia. So it's man-made objects. The one for deep open water is thalassophobia, and
Yeah.
then water itself, aquaphobia.
There's a lake somewhere where somebody put a Jason
I've seen that.
tied to the chain, like from
Mhm.
the 6th and 7th movie. They put that at a lake and people go down and scuba dive around it and stuff.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
But yeah, I mean, the concept was so cool. Imagine there's a lake and there used to be, I don't know, town there or something or someone's
Mhm.
property, and now there's a lake and you can like go down into this house underwater. Such a
Yeah.
cool concept. But well, let's get to the video game. The video game is called Dark Mass and it's due out this fall. And it's a first person psychological horror game that immerses you in the eerie silence of the deep ocean. So maybe a little different, where time stands still and forgotten horrors await. You play as a brother and sister. So similar characters, but we don't know anything really about the game. I did see some pictures and I hope they didn't take pictures from the movie. And no, they can't because they would have gotten sued because
Mhm.
this is directly from like the video game on the PlayStation Store. But
Mhm.
I saw pictures of a house underwater and it looks very similar to the mansion in Deep House. So I'm hoping it has a cool concept where you can like dive down and explore things and things go crazy.
Yeah, that's a
Cool
I mean,
concept.
the ocean is a whole 'nother level of just
Yeah.
creepy. It gives that kind of horror game, it being in the ocean, and they're, like, exploring. It's like back rooms for the ocean, kinda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the possibly you don't know what's gonna pop up and it's you don't know where you're going and things like that. But I really do hope and I wish that more, directors, producers, whoever, studios kind of not copy this concept, but there's so much you can do with the towns or houses or whichever under the water. And it's
Yeah.
a haunted house under the water can be done so many different ways. And
Yeah.
someone could make that really, really good. So
Yeah.
I think the Deep House had promise, and maybe there will be a Dark Mass movie after the video game comes out.
That would be cool. But there's another movie I can't think of that's also international where They have a town that's right next to this huge, like, mountain that half of it breaks off,
Mm,
falls into water, and then a huge wave comes and floods the town.
mm,
I can't think of the name of it, but I don't know, it's kinda more like action drama than it is horror,
yeah.
but yeah, I love that type of idea for a movie and a video game. I'm really excited. I hate that they announced this, I think, at the end of last year, and they're like, "Coming soon," and it's like, "'Kay,
Teeth.
alright, so would you like to go to the next one?"
Yeah, this one, I think we each did half of the homework on is the Mortuary Assistant, and I'll let you set it up with the game because the game came first in 2022.
And I think that's kind of shocking because the gameplay and the graphics do not look like they are from 2022.
Does it look bad?
Maybe we'll find a picture to
Okay.
post, but it's not what you would think. Now, here's maybe the reason why. It's a horror game is set in 1988 in a small town in Connecticut. Players control a newly hired assistant at a haunted mortuary. So you and I honestly, I played 20 to 30 minutes of this game because it lost my interest because again, like I'm trying to click on a pencil to like lift a pencil and you have to like click right on it. You know, if you
Yeah.
click like 2 centimeters to the right, it's not going to pick up the pencil. So I played only like 20 to 30 minutes of this game. You pull up to the funeral home, you go in and you go and you start talking to the mortician. He assigns you, there's a dead body on the table and he's like, take this body to the back, put her in the, what are they called? The ice refrigerators. I should know this.
The for like to freeze the dead bodies or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say the ice box. Put her in there and then bring Mr. Blah 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 out. So then, even to wheel them back and wasn't the best. But then you bring out the next dead body and he just has you like look over the body to see if they could find any marks and you have a chart and you have to like check off, okay, there's a mark on his arm, mark on his toe,
Mhm.
forehead, neck. So then when you're done that, he basically has you enter all of that into the computer. So that's kind of like a lot of the concept of the game. You're just helping the mortician, and sometimes you'll hear like a little whisper happen.
Mm.
So this is where like the horror ghost part of it comes in. So yeah, I'm just like, it's still, I could play it. It's still like on my main list if I want to, but I just lost interest because I don't know, it's a little boring, but
Mm.
also the graphics and the gameplay are not what I would expect for 2022 release.
Yeah, well then, I mean, that's not exactly a rave review of the video game, and I'm gonna shit on the movie. So the movie came out recently. It was this year, and I forgot where I watched it. I think I watched it on Shudder. But the movie basically follows this girl, Rebecca Owens. She's a mortuary science graduate. She takes a night job at Riverfield's mortuary. What begins as a routine job soon turns sinister as she faces terrifying supernatural forces. So it is based off of the video game. This came out in March of this year and it was horrible. I hated it. I was really excited for it. I have this, I don't know, dream to be a mortician. Maybe I still will. I don't know. I think it'd be really
Well,
cool to study.
I can help you with that because I almost was one.
No way. Wait,
Yeah.
how funny. Okay, we have to talk about that. But yeah, I mean it's clearly not a dying industry. Tudunch.
Right.
It is. But yeah, the movie's terrible. It was boring. I didn't know what was going on. It was so confusing. I wasn't on my phone. I was paying attention and it just felt like someone put a movie together but then took out pieces of the movie and you're like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what's going on. It was a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I don't recommend watching it.
You can give the video game a try if you want, but it's not
Maybe, I
much
don't know.
better in my
Yeah,
opinion.
if I have no time to do anything else. Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit of a letdown, and I don't mind average horror movies. I actually really like them where it's like, okay, this isn't, hereditary, but
Mhm.
it's just like a fun, whatever horror movie. I like those, but this was not that. It
Yeah.
was, yeah. So I would say on the video game and the movie front does not sound like
Mm.
they're winners at all.
Mm-mm.
So sorry, the creator of both of them, but, yeah, this one's a miss.
Yep.
And that's I think we have to say about that one.
Yeah, I only played 20 to 30 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Our final main one that we can talk about is another famous movie that created what I wanna say a pretty fun horror video game. That's the Blair Witch Project. Now, we all know that came out first in 1999, blew up. What's crazy is it took till 2019 to create a solid video game about it. So this video game, it apparently takes place 2 years after the movie timeline. And I understand that because of the storyline and everything, but the dates weren't adding up. I think somebody had typos on the dates. But the game follows former police officer Ellis Lynch as he joins the search in Black Hills Forest for a missing boy named Peter. And so, yeah, you start this game with like a walkie-talkie. It's just a couple of weapons like a knife. You might have a gun. I can't remember. But you also have your dog with you. And does the dog die? No,
Great.
I don't think.
Great news.
It does run off though and leave you hanging. So,
Okay. That's
so
not good.
no, but I love it because the majority of the movie takes place in the woods. It's super psychological, hallucinations, things appearing really quickly. They're there for 1 second, then they're gone. There's a lot of like on his radio or walkie-talkie, this guy who's not who you think he is, he like taunts him and stuff. And eventually, like the movie, you end up at the Rustin Parr house. And that's when there is a seriously crazy jump scare that happens. And that's the one where I like flew back, like, whoa.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, that had me going back a little bit. It's a serious jump scare, but yeah, it doesn't follow the same storyline or anything, but it's still a cool video game because it takes place in the woods. So there's a lot of creepy factors and just a lot of things that can change in an instant.
Mhm.
And part of hallucinations and stuff. But the house at the end is really cool. I think they did really well with that and how this whole game plays out. It's been a few years since I played it, but I wanted to add it for tonight because I do remember playing it and I liked it.
It was just one game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I only played one game,
Mm. Okay.
but it was a good game. I'm trying to think if there's anything else unique that happened, but can't think of anything. But yeah, it was fun.
Did you see I posted this on the page that they released, like, a teaser date for
I did see that.
the new Blair Witch movie is coming out September of next year, September 2027, so that's
I'm
exciting.
really interested to see what they're gonna do with this.
I'm nervous because the chances of them doing it right, I feel like are not high.
They'll never achieve what they did with the original, but
Yeah.
if they do the same imagery and like the same creepy things, if they focus on that, like the sounds and the kids shaking the tent, like those types of things, I'm not saying like redo those things,
Mhm.
but those types of things, if they're I see I did it's tough to say do those types of things and not have people think, okay, do them again,
Yeah.
with the black and white camera and
And also I think part of what made the original scary is because the actors didn't know what was going on. So that
yeah.
was a genuine fear. So it's can they recreate that again? I don't think so. I don't know.
We're putting our faith in you, everyone who's going to be
Yeah.
involved with this.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we have one more semi-horror shout out just because we are talking about video games if you wanna wrap it up.
Yeah, this was my little shout out. That's not technically horror, but it is gore, so
Mhm.
could fall under horror.
Yeah.
And that would be the Mortal Kombat video games, many of them, and the Mortal Kombat movies, which there's a new one that just came out. Well, it's streaming, so
Mhm.
I do plan to watch those. I grew up on the games, the video games, like a lot of us did. And the movies always are like just so intense and, they'll get your heart beating fast because they're just so intense and awesome. So, yeah,
Mhm.
specifically though, just not only playing the video games, but I literally went to see the first movie at a drive-in in a field as a
No
kid.
way.
Yes.
That's
And
cool.
it's just nostalgia for me. So I had to throw it on here and give it a shout out.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movies. It's been on my list, but the video games are I used to play it on my Game Boy Advance, and they were so fun. And whenever I see 'em at, those arcade bars and stuff,
Oh,
Mortal
yeah.
Kombat, I actually slay the Mortal Kombat video game. I'm really good, so if anyone sees me out, challenge me.
And, I love the games too because remember there was always, like, the hidden code you can
Mhm,
put in? I
mhm,
remember when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, I bought this cheat book magazine thing, and they taught you what buttons to push to do everybody's, like, different fatalities.
mhm,
Like, by the time you got a lot of this stuff, you had to this was pre-internet, by the way, so you had to buy the books and look up stuff.
mhm,
And so the first movie or first video game, you had to kind of figure out your own way to make these things happen. But then I remember the second video game, I had the book, and it would tell you how to like do like Liu Kang. He turned into a dragon and would like either eat you or blow fire on you and kill you. Like it was just fun. And yeah, that's what I remember about those video games.
and the newer ones are graphic. Those
Yeah.
kills are like, the spine being ripped out of the body, people being broken in half. It is not what the original was, but I think it does, what the game is justice.
And there was one that recently came out a couple years ago, and it was kind of like it was a mix of a storyline and your classic fighting.
Mhm, mhm.
And I played that one and I loved it.
They're fun.
Yeah. So that's a good one for anybody who's if you miss, try to play that newest one. I think it might have been called like Mortal Kombat 1 or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a storyline and classic fighting. So that's, just something to add in other than the classic go and fight everybody.
Yeah. Shout out Mortal Kombat. That's a
Yes.
classic video game. Always will be.
Yes.
Well, I think that was a lot of video games and movies we talked about. Hopefully, there are some that we talked about that you haven't seen or that you're like, you know what? I should rewatch that again because I think I
Yeah.
need to rewatch some of these. It's been a while, but yeah, that was episode 8.
8. Ready Player Die.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We have probably a few episodes left in this first series. Obviously, we're not stopping, but we'll probably, wrap this one up and then do another, chunk of episodes. But let us know if you have any ideas. I think we're going to start to dive into international horror, which I've been really excited for, really looking forward to because I think we're going to need more than one episode for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll like pick countries here and there, but there are some crazy international movies
Mhm.
that maybe some aren't as well known, that are on my favorites list, so I cannot wait to talk about them.
I know, same. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas, we always say this, just let us know.
Mm.
We do have a lot more ideas planned, but we're always willing to hear something new or different that maybe we didn't think of. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually we should do, like, if someone suggests us a movie that we haven't seen, which that would be impressive because I feel like we've seen a lot, we could do an episode of, "What did you think?" And we'll just
yeah,
both watch some new ones, which I would love because I need rec.
yeah, I agree. That'd be fun to do homework on something we've never seen before and then give
Mhm.
our honest feedback.
Mhm. Take notes.
But we would need to know movies that people are suggesting that we haven't watched yet. So
Yeah, send
you have to
our
help us with that.
way.
Yeah,
Yes,
help us out with that.
I think another episode we actually have on the docket is Unknown Horror 2, so we'll talk about more of the, smaller, maybe independent, maybe like the Tubies of the world, which some are really good, smaller horror movies that, don't get much press or anything, they're not in the news,
Right.
so people don't watch them. But yeah, we could talk about that too.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Yep, cool, cool.
All right.
Well, let's go play some video games.
Love to.
Yeah,
All
alright.
right. Have fun, everybody. Have a nice week. We'll be back next week with another
Like
episode.
follow, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.